Hey everybody, and welcome to Zanpakuto Explained, the series where I try to explain every Zanpakuto. And today, I'm super excited to talk about this one. It is Yamamoto's Zanpakuto, Ryujin Jakka, which was one of my personal favorites, if not my favorite. It's Shikai and Bankai, they're all great. There's a lot of versatility. So we have a lot to talk about, so I'm just going to try to get right into it. Okay, so first is the sealed state. There's actually something to talk about here. Yamamoto usually keeps, it's just a normal katana, nothing really interesting there, but he normally keeps it inside of a staff, which is sort of interesting. So, this is a really cool wooden staff he has, then whenever he wants, he can take it out of the staff or put it back in. And something interesting about this is he even has a technique with the staff. It's called Onibi. Which is it's just a thrust attack. It's like he thrusts forward and it just fucking eradicates whatever it touches. It's awesome. He did it against Ion, I believe. Okay, so now on to the real meat of it. We're talking about his Shikai, Ryujin Jakka, which means flowing blade-like flame or flowing blade young flame. It's the oldest fire-type Zanpakuto and the most destructive Zanpakuto overall. The release command is fucking awesome. It is reduce all creation to ash, or reduce all things in the universe to ash. Releasing the Zanpakuto causes tons of Ryatsu to be released. And it looks like fire, of course, because that's kind of Yamamoto's thing, is his Ryatsu looks like fire. And the Shikai is constantly coated like a thing of fire. It's fucking cool. I love it. Okay, so now we're on to his abilities. In Ryujin Jakka, its main ability is just creating flame. You can do anything with flame, basically. It's pretty simple. So now we're on to the named techniques he has. And first is Jokaku Enjo, which means fortress flame. And it creates a spire of flame that traps enemies. He did it against Aizen. And something interesting about this is, unlike most Shikai, the ability stays active even when he seals his Zanpakuto. So he can just fucking create like a spire of flames, and nobody can escape it, essentially. Like, it took Aizen a bit to escape, even. He wasn't really trying, but it still did take him a while. So say, like, if you went up to fucking Ichigo back then, he could have just, trapped him in fucking flame and just didn't let him out ever. He could just go on his way, unrelease his Shikai, and just walk away. He'd never be able to escape, essentially. It's really cool. I like it. Okay, so his next ability is Nadagiri, which means mow down. It seemingly doesn't create much flame. It's just kind of a generic, anime sword slash. He pulls out his sword, or he puts his sword back in its sheath, then he pulls it out, and then he puts it back in or something. And it causes Ion to just sliced in half. I'm guessing it probably condenses the flame to make it a slash, maybe, or it's just a cut in his Shikai. I don't know, but I like it. It was fucking awesome when he first used it, but not really a cool Shikai ability. After that is Taimatsu, meaning torch. I believe he also used it against Ion, and it basically just incinerates things. There's not really much to say about it. Okay, so next up is Enetsu Jigoku, which means Scorching Hell. It creates 7 massive flame pillars that trap the user and the opponent. And so basically, it creates these flame pillars, and those flame pillars are meant to spread fire everywhere, create a massive inferno that kills everyone near it and inside of it. The flame is strong enough to kill every captain, according to both Aizen and Yamamoto. Even Aizen seemed to realize it would kill him, too. It requires setup, but we don't know how much. Aizen just sort of said, you set this up, and Yamamoto seemed to agree, so it does require some sort of setup. Really cool ability. I wish we actually saw it spread more. It sort of immediately disappears once it gets activated, which sucks. Okay, so now on to his Bankai, Zanka no Tachi, one of probably my favorite Bankai, actually, maybe my second favorite. But yeah, so Zanka no Tachi means long sword of the remnant flame, or blade of ember. And so basically what happens is when he activates it, all the flames disappear, seemingly, and the sword becomes all black and burnt. And it looks really frail and weak, because it's a fucking broken sword, essentially. It looks like it's been in fucking fire forever. It's crazy. Another effect of it is It's so hot. The Bankai itself is so hot. It takes all the moisture out of the environment. Healing Murray, for example, does not work when Zakka no Tachi is activated, because that works on moisture. It creates ice through moisture. Zakka no Tachi is so hot, no moisture can form. It makes your throat dry out, your hair dry up, your skin crack. It's very potent, I would say. And that leads into its abilities. Zakka no Tachi has 4 main abilities. The first of those abilities is East, Kyoku Jitsujin, which means Rising Sun Blade. And it explains why there's no flames when you first activate the Bankai. Basically, it condenses all of Yamamoto's flames into the blade. So the flames are invisible because how small of an area they're being condensed into. And the effect of this is the sword eradicates anything, essentially. And the sword eradicates anything it touches, and it's like the base ability of the Bankai. So as soon as you activate the Bankai, this ability is activated. And it seems like it does not get deactivated no matter what. So no matter what in his Bankai, he can eradicate anything it touches. Very potent. As Yamamoto puts it, if there's an East, there must be a West, and that's kind of where this comes in. It is Zanka no Tachi West, Zanjitsu Gokui, which means Hell Cloak of the Lingering Sun. Basically, the ability, it's another thing that seemingly activates as the Bankai activates. And it doesn't deactivate either. It's very overpowered too. It creates an invisible cloak of fire that is 50 million degrees, which is almost double the heat of the temperature of the sun, of the insides of the sun. Like the core of the sun is 27 million degrees, I'm pretty sure. And Zanka no Tachi West is 50 million degrees. Yamamoto says that just having it active can destroy the Soul Society, and it's seemingly the reason why moisture dries up and stuff like that. And it is invisible, by the way, because it's actually Ryatsu. It's not fire, because fire that hot wouldn't be visible as fire. So he can control whether it's visible or not, because it's just Ryatsu. Ryatsu that looks like fire. And so yeah, if he activates his Bankai, you're not going to fucking know he has this 50 million degree shield around him, unless he lets you see it, which is very overpowered. Okay, so next up is probably his most ridiculous ability, and it's very hard to say, so I'm probably going to mispronounce it. It is South, Kakujuman Okushi Daisojin, which means Great Funeral Away of 100,000 Multitudes of Flaming Deaths, which is a very fucking intimidating name. And basically, he stabs the sword into the ground, and he creates the bones of everyone he's killed, and revives them with his sword, with his fire, and then those things become, slaves, basically. So he gets a skeleton army, essentially, which is really a stretch of his fire ability, but it's really cool. And again, it's really overpowered. So it's oh, this dude can kill you with one hit, and you can't get close to him. So now he has a skeleton army to grab you and hold you down while he gets close to you and cuts you. Very OP ability as well. Very cool ability too, which is a theme with Zanka no Tachi. And the strategy I just brought up wasn't made up by me. Yamamoto actually does do that. With his last ability, North, Tenshi Kaijin, meaning consuming ash of heaven and earth. And basically it's just a kind of a more overpowered version of East. It basically does the same thing. It just slashes, and then you get obliterated. Sort of underwhelming in my opinion. Yeah, so that's basically it. I don't really have much more to talk about, or anything to talk about, really. I actually figured this would take longer, but I guess I condensed all the information pretty well, I think. Next up is probably Minazuki, so stick around if you want to see that. I should be talking about some cool ones soon. Minazuki's pretty cool, but like some other Zanpakuto, there's really not much information on it, so I can't make some big, long, videos gushing about it like I was this. Yeah, so that's basically it. Thanks for watching, I guess. I should have some more of these out, by next week at least, so subscribe if you want, or not. Just come back when you're interested. Come back when there's a Zanpakuto you want, because I am planning to cover all of them, even the ones that we know nothing about. So, yeah, thanks for sticking around, I guess.